We are back, ladies and gentlemen, live from the break, here on the hottest show in the streets in terms of Alabama football talk. This is In My Own Words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. A lot of crazy news going on the campus of the University of Alabama right now in regards to players coming back to the Crimson Tide, players leaving for the NFL draft, coaching carousel, and we'll get to that on the other side of the break to tidy up loose ends and end this week's edition of shows. But in terms of the final thought, not the final segment, but the final thought where the national championship game on Monday night was played, the one in which Clemson earned a 44-16 win. We'll dive into that part of the conversation here. But as always, people, you want the best in Crimson Tide news, notes, and information. You crave the essence of Alabama football. No shortcuts, no sugarcoating. You know what to do, people. Download the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. We're hitting you with the best in practice recaps, game recaps, highlights, recruiting, news and notes, press conferences, player interviews. This is the plug. This is your number one source, your stop shop for all things Crimson Tide. You're craving it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Check out the app where we're giving you new information, new stories, fresh, cutting-edge material in terms of Alabama football. We even have a podcast, or we even have an audio option for you now, where the In My Own Words podcast is concerned. You can check this out on SoundCloud and or iTunes for your computer, or even Overcast.com for your phone. Overcast.com, the big podcast site for the iPhone. So you can check this out on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Overcast.com. If you are on the go, in your car, going to work, picking up the kids from school, making that late night grocery run, hitting the gym. Maybe you are visiting that loved one in the hospital. At all times, you have your trusty Touchdown Alabama Magazine app pumping you information, so be sure to check that out. You can download this from your iPhone App Store, your Google Play Store. Check that out. Pick up that app today. But history finds a way to repeat itself, and when you are in tune with history, it tends to bode well for you. If you're not in tune with history, then there's that. Case in point, let's go back to a year ago. 2018 college football playoff national championship game off the 2017 season. The setting, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, between Alabama and the Georgia Bulldogs for all the marbles here. Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback during that game, and despite him not throwing an interception, did not have his best performance. 3 of 8 passing for 21 yards. The offense has no rhythm, no juice, no spark, no momentum. And it's Georgia manhandling Alabama on both sides of the football. The score is 13-0 at halftime. You're down 2 scores. You have Nick Saban, who is widely regarded as the Zen master of college football. He's widely regarded as the greatest of all time, the GOAT. He is regarded as the CEO of this Fortune 500 company that is Alabama football. And he is also the king of second-half adjustments. Nick Saban has no problem at halftime calling both Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts to him. To Jalen Hurts, he says, "Son, we appreciate you. You've done well, but you have not gotten the job done in this game. You have not provided the spark we needed in this game. You have not provided the momentum that we need in this game. We need juice, we need energy, we need sauce, we need swag, we need spark, we need an inspiration. We need something in this football game." And Georgia had schemed Jalen out. They were ready for Jalen's skill set. So Nick Saban turned and he said, "We're going to give Tua an opportunity. We're going to put this game in Tua's hands. Now, Jalen, we may come back to you. We might come back to you, give or take. But we're going to give Tagovailoa a shot to see what can Tua do. What can Tua provide? And regardless of what happens, we're going to leave this game in Tua's hands. Alabama goes with Tua in the second half. Everybody saw it happen. He brought a different energy, a different field, a different spark, and Georgia was not prepared. Georgia was not ready. And the end result was Saban threw off his headset in jubilation, the happiest he's ever been in his life. Alabama getting the 26-23 win in overtime. Why? Because Nick Saban was not afraid to give Tua an opportunity. He was not afraid to give Tagovailoa a chance to spark that football team, regardless of what may have happened. Now, we fast forward this back to this past season. We go back to Monday night. The setting, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California, between Alabama and Clemson for all the marbles. And Jalen Hurts, if you follow him on social media, Twitter, Instagram, he's always talking about divine intervention. God's got me. I'm putting this in God's hands. I'm letting God handle this. He's always saying something about divine intervention. Well, divine intervention really played a role in this football game because it set up the exact same way as the previous year. How so? I'll explain. And a lot of people have a poor perception of, if I embrace Tua, I'm bashing Jalen, or if I embrace Jalen, I am demeaning Tua. And that's not the right perception. Both quarterbacks are special. Both quarterbacks are good. Both quarterbacks are really, really talented young men and great people. And there is nothing wrong with embracing both guys. And there is nothing wrong with embracing both skill sets. And this matchup right here, it's set up the exact same way because just like Georgia was prepared for Jalen and his skill set, Clemson defensive coordinator Brent Venables, they were prepared for Tua and his skill set. They were locked in, they were focused, and their mindset coming in, we're going to frustrate, we're going to fluster him, we're going to break him. And they shook Tua Tagovailoa. They pressured him, they knocked him down, they confused him with different looks, they forced turnovers. Tua was put in a heat pressure situation, and at times in that game, looked defeated. Eyes were toward the ground, head was hung low. He couldn't even climb the pocket to throw the football because Clemson had him so scared he was throwing the ball off his back foot, not getting enough accuracy, not getting enough velocity, not getting enough precision, not getting enough trajectory on that football. So at that very moment, you go into half down 31-16. You're down 2 scores, same as you were against Georgia. You go into halftime with your team needing a spark, with your team needing inspiration. The same thing against Georgia. If I was Nick Saban in that moment after coming out of the half and I see Tua Tagovailoa, his eyes toward the ground, his head hung low, I would have taken that notion of a nonverbal cue and I would have said, Tua, we appreciate you, son. We love you, but have a seat. Jalen, we're about to give you an opportunity no matter what happens. You've been voted the most inspiring player by your teammates, by your brothers. Go out here, inspire your team, inspire your brothers. Let's see what you can do. Try to see if you can make something happen. At least give the young man a chance, regardless of what happened. Even if Jalen wouldn't have been able to bring the game back, at least see if he can get this team not to lose by darn near 30 points. And that's the biggest hurt right there. I mean, it's not the biggest hurt that Alabama lost the game because Alabama's going to bounce back. It's Alabama football. It's not even the biggest hurt to see how Alabama lost the game because, once again, this is tied football. Nick Saban will find a way to bounce back. The biggest hurt is here is your best athlete. Here is somebody that has been through all the adversity, all the naysay, all the criticism. He's chosen to stand by you, not to leave you, stick with you. And in the case of Football 101, whether it's high school, college, National Football League, when it's the biggest game of the year, you're taught to exhaust everything, to empty every clip out of the chamber, to put it all on the line. Everybody that looks like an impact player, you put them in there, you give them a shot, you give them an opportunity. And Football 101 was failed in this sense because a guy that could have went out there and that could have provided a big time spark for this football team was not even given a chance until it was everlasting too late, and Clemson had already put up the 40-point threshold. And now, folks, you look at Jalen Hurts has put his name into the NCAA transfer portal. Now, teams can talk to him, coaches can talk to him, he can entertain other offers out there. Now, does that mean he will immediately up and leave? Not necessarily, but it does mean he makes that step towards potentially leaving Alabama. And with the guys coming back at the quarterback position and the new incoming talent coming in, he has a huge decision to make. And after seeing him pull victory out of the fire against Georgia when Bama was down in the 2018 Southeastern Conference game, just not trusting him or giving him a chance. When we have seen other quarterbacks lead the coop at Alabama at the little hint of adversity, whether it was Cooper Bateman, David Cornwell, Blake Barnett, Luke Del Rio, they all left at the slightest hint of discomfort and adversity. To see Jalen stay there and rock with this football program and not being given a chance to at least do something out there when the team had some fight, some zeal, some juice, is very, very highly disappointing. So we'll see what happens in the days, weeks to come where Jalen is concerned, but no matter what he does, this young man needs to be escorted out royally because he gave Alabama everything he had, and what happened on Monday night just wasn't right. Was not right at all. But we take our final break here on In My Own Words. When we get back, we look at the coaching carousel that is the Nick Saban coaching staff, and we'll tidy up some loose ends. Folks, don't go anywhere. It's In My Own Words.